and I won a lot of things as a writer and in public radio. So I'm just grateful for all the opportunities. I guess I'm just a storyteller, and it seems to work for me in whatever medium I'm in. I sort of did a lot of social justice, cultural critiquing writing. So I think I've always been fueled by a strong sense of wanting to be in conversation and also caring very deeply about things that aren't right. It's just intuitive. It's always, I don't plan things out. I may be looking for an idea and I find it could come from something I'm reading. I'm not an activist storyteller. I know I have friends who are documentary filmmakers who make films because they want to create change. I don't want to do that. I think change is great, but I think that's somebody else's job. That's not mine. I want to spark the conversation, and I feel if I do that well enough, that people will pick up the mantle and make change. But I'm a storyteller, and that's all I want to do. It's the woman who founded the Monitor, Mary Baker Eddy, had a quote that I found early in my work as a reporter, and it inspires everything I do. It's when the heart speaks, however simple the words, its language is always acceptable to those who have hearts. And that's all. The moment I realized that, first I reach your heart. First it's heart to heart, and then everything else follows. If you learn politics, to cover politics in Boston, you've been, learned it from the Lion's Den. It's a hard place. So I was intimidated by that, but I remember just thinking, I have a way of telling the stories. I have a way of understanding this and seeing it. That's the way I do, and that's enough. I early on learned not to be intimidated, or if something does intimidate me, I tend not to show it. I learned how to be alone as a young woman. Which you do a lot. You work alone a lot as a reporter, but as a young woman in places, I just learned it. At times when I might have been intimidated, I would never have showed it. My father, who was an aerospace engineer, he was part of the Gemini and Apollo projects and putting man on the moon. I told him something I was doing in high school or college, and he called me sis a lot, and he was like, "Sis, you are just a natural born leader." I looked at him, I laughed out loud, and I said, "Dad, have you looked behind me lately? Because there is nobody in line following." I said, "No, I think you're a little mistaken on that one." And he said, "No." He said, "That's why you're a leader. You see where you need to go and you go. Because people will follow you eventually. That's what a leader is."